biggest challenge?
You know, I'm going to say this, it's not about them this week, it's about us. And that's what we've really tried to focus on, trying to get our guys to, get away from the distractions, the external things that go on, all the advice and suggestions that they get during the week, and just put together a great game plan focused on just executing what we need to do. That's going to be our focus.
How impressed are you with the way the defense has played the last couple of weeks?
Our defense?
Yeah.
Very impressed. We're making progress. The first half against both of our last two opponents was really good. And now what we have to do is we have to improve our second half performance and finish in the game.
You said you focus on yourselves, but that being said, you kind of embrace that role of being the spoiler this week. Did you talk about that at all?
We haven't talked about the external motivational type of things because I think our players know that already. I don't think that's something we have to bring up. We want to make sure that every guy on this team knows exactly what he's supposed to do on every play. He's got his technique and his assignments down because really that's where the game is going to be won.
Is their offense this week a little challenging to figure out? With Gustafson back, but their offense was so different when McKenna did it. Is it hard to piece together enough film on?
Well, yeah, we have less games to look at. Right now at the end of the season, the body of video that you have to watch is massive on most of the guys. That played the whole year. But Brady, we only have a couple of games at the beginning, which of course we're studying to try to get an idea about him personally, and then going on from there. But I think the basic elements of the offense are still pretty much the same. There's certain pieces they emphasize more with him that we'll try to pick out, and I'm sure they'll try to adapt a little bit too with some things that are not on the video chart. That's kind of what we do.
How impressed are you with Montana?
They're a good football team. They've done well. They've had some ups and downs during the season, like we have. A couple times stubbed their toe, like we did. And so, it's a matter of who plays the best on this particular game.
You talk about the health in the secondary. That's obviously going to be a big thing this weekend.
Yeah, we've got Trayvon Strong is going to be back practicing this week, and so will Bryson Keaton. So we'll have all four of our corners healthy. We only had two down at Idaho State, so that's a real bonus for us. We've got some depth there that we didn't have before.
You mentioned Brady. Is it safe to say that their playbook is more open when he's in the game as opposed to what it was when he was out?
I really don't. I haven't seen their playbook, so I really don't know. I think their offense is very diversified. They're 50-50 run pass. They have lots of weapons that they can go to, both in the run and pass game, and it's pretty diversified no matter who's playing, really.
Can you just talk about the rivalry and what it's like to be a part of it?
It's not just one game or 1 week, it's all year. That's what this rivalry is all about. I learned that fairly quickly after I got here. We're still talking about the Cat-Griz game at golf outings in June, and every place I go all year long. And that's what's different about this rivalry, I think, than a lot of other ones. This is a special week. It feels different, it tastes different, it just operates differently than any other week of the year, and that's awesome. It's a great thing to be a part of.
Can you talk about maybe your history with this game the last 8 times, 2-6, not the record that you want, obviously, so maybe just an overarching look at sort of how things have gone.
Yeah, it's a great game. I'm really happy that our starting quarterback is available this year, and that helps, I think, a lot. And I think my take on some of the first few games, the first couple of years, we were rebuilding, trying to start the program up, and Montana was on quite a roll at that point in time. National championship games several years in a row. Then we sort of took over and won. We won 2 out of 3 and knocked them out, and one, had a chance to sort of be the dominating team for a while. And then the last couple of times, the injuries at the quarterback position have really hurt us.
How about just the home aspect of it, not having beaten them at home yet?
We'd like to beat them at home.
John Widenhour's coming up on breaking the consecutive starts record. Can you talk a little bit about his career, watching his durability and him grow?
He's been absolutely phenomenal. 49 games in a row. That's just unheard of. You've got to be in the playoffs a few times to even get to 49 games, and much less start all of them. And he's been really a good player too the whole time. And it's not just about a guy who's treading water in there. He's been a dominating player for us, a very highly contributing player, a leader, off the field as well. A guy we've never had any kind of issues with of any kind. He's been a positive, role player for this team. Leads our Bible study group. He's a competitive guy. He's an NFL prospect. What more could you ask from a young man? I'm really excited for him to get the record.
Rob, what are the things you need to concentrate on this week to beat Montana?
We have to concentrate on ourselves, execution, being able to know our assignments and our techniques on every single play of the game.
Well, can you elaborate a little more on that, what that takes?
Well, I mean, every guy has his set of assignments. So a defensive tackle has to know exactly what he's got to do on every stunt and blitz and line game, and the quarterback has to know his reads on every pass play. The receivers have to know their routes on every play, and not only know them, but execute them well against every possible coverage that could come up, every possible move that the guy across from you could come up with. My point being that it's not about home game or 2-6 or who's playing quarterback or any of that. It's about one guy doing his job. Each guy doing his job. That's our focus.
I know there are different kinds of passing attacks from last week to this week, but going back and watching the Idaho State game, how good was your down the field coverage, especially on vertical throws?
I was really happy with that. I was very impressed with both Trace Timmer and Bryce Alley coming off the bench. I thought they played fast. They played with really good technique. Some of the things I'm talking about right now, they just went out there and did their job. And our safeties played better as well. We had some pass breakups from Kahari Garcia. We had some pass breakups from Bryson McCabe. I just thought we were on point and maybe just starting to mature and develop a little bit as a young defense, getting older as we watch.
Rob, you've always talked about improving every week. Has this team improved throughout the season?
I think so. I believe we have, particularly on defense. I feel like we're getting better, getting older. We got a lot of young guys and new guys that are starting to come around. And yeah, I mean, if we're not improving every week, then we're not doing our job as coaches. And honestly, without sugarcoating it, I really think that we are getting better.
Can you talk about, you've been on both sides of this game, winning and losing. What is the emotional difference between those two, winning and losing?
Well, it's absolutely huge, Greg, for the entire year. As I said, this is a year-long rivalry. It's not just one game. You win it, you get the 365 days of being a winner. And if you don't win it, then it's 365 days of trying to win the next one. And that's the way it works in this state. It's one chance once a year to go play this game. And yeah, the stakes are very high, but that's what makes it exciting. That's why we signed up for this job.
Does it stay
Excuse me, I'm
sorry.
sorry.
Does it stay with you through those 300?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good and bad.
Yeah.
At this point in the season, are you in as good a shape as it's possible to be?
I haven't been working out very much, so I'm in very good shape right now.
The team.
Oh, the team. Yeah. Actually, health-wise, we're really good. I mean, we've got Dakota healthy, and most of our guys. We're unfortunately a couple linemen that are still shaky as far as whether they'll be able to play or not with Ekoff and Gadecki. But injury-wise, yeah, I think we probably are in as good a shape as we've been going into the 11th game of the season for a few years.
How about JP?
JP looks like he'll be fine. He's going to practice this week. He'll be ready to go.
Can you point to one reason why maybe scoring has been down through the years against Montana? You guys haven't scored more than 21 points in a game against them.
I think it still goes back to the quarterback situation. When you look back, the games that we won, we played a very, very conservative approach because we had great defenses and we were dominating both those games. We didn't need to score any more points. Look at the 2012 game. We went on a long drive in the fourth quarter. We were very patient. We didn't have to score a lot of points. That was a great drive. We kicked a field goal with 4 minutes left to get a 9-point lead. That's all we needed. So sometimes it's just the way the game works out. And then we've had, Darius was hurt his senior year and Dakota didn't play last year. I think that makes a big difference. Those are two pretty good guys that weren't playing.
How's the offense functioning at this point in the season?
We're doing well right now. We got some more linemen that are banged up a little bit. Some new guys stepped in, but skill positions are healthy. The quarterback's healthy. The tight ends are healthy. Everybody's good. So we're rolling right now. This is the healthiest we've been going into this game since I've been here.
Can the offense do what you want it to do at this point in the season?
Yes. Confused by that question a little bit, but yes. We can do everything we need to do with who we have on the field, the same guys we had in the field game one.
Will the offense change at all for this game?
Absolutely not. Nope.
When you look at Montana, is it safe to say that they've had some trouble this year against mobile quarterbacks as opposed to guys who are more stationary?
It's a way to attack them. It's a way to attack them. I think, Montana wants you to be in 22 and 12 and personnel, and they want you to load the box and run downhill at them and stuff like that. And I think a mobile quarterback that we have creates some problems for them if you spread the field and spread them out a little bit. So, we have a whole lot of things in the game plan, a whole lot of ways that we feel they can be attacked, and we're going to throw throw everything at them on Saturday.
Dakota talked about sitting in the pocket more just because of where he was physically on Saturday. Is there any way to, even if he was feeling the same way, is there any way to keep him in the pocket for this game?
Hopefully he's all over the field. So when he's in the pocket, when he needs to be in the pocket, he's out of the pocket, when he needs to be out of the pocket. Like I said, we're going to throw everything we have at him this weekend.
Not internally, can you kind of address Montana's front seven, what you see out of that?
They're very good. They're very active. It's Montana. That's who they are. Played against them once at University of New Hampshire. Played against them 2 times so far here. That's what they've been. That's what they are. That's what Ty builds his defense on. So their offense might have changed a little bit, but it's the same defense we've seen for a long time.
How good is their defense?
Very good. I think there's two teams in this conference that play good defense. Everybody else is average or below average, and that's Southern Utah and these guys. And these guys play very good defense. They're very sound. They're aggressive. Holmes is as good as defensive lineman there is in the league. The linebacking core is very well coached. So they got a very good defense. Do a good job mixing up coverages and attacking your tendencies.
How impressed were you with their performance against Eastern?
Yeah, did a good job against Eastern. Eastern tried to stay in the pocket and let Holmes, those guys get after him. They caused some turnovers, all type of stuff. They did a good job against Eastern. And, Washington Grizz Stadium is a tough place to go play, as Eastern found out.
What makes Holmes so tough to deal with? Like, is it just his speed, or is it a combination of speed,
Yeah.
strength, and
Yeah.
everything?
Speed, strength, aggressiveness, high motor, gives good effort. He has a plan. That's why I think in the pass rush game, that's what separates him from Cowser, is the fact that I think Holmes has a plan. When he comes to pass rush, Cowser just tried to bully you. Holmes will hit you inside, hit you outside, he'll set you up and come back in, and that type of stuff. He's a good football player. We've got to have eyes on him and win those battles with him.
How would you evaluate the overall play of your offensive line with 2 regular starters last Saturday?
Did very well. 44 points and 546 yards. 6.3 yards per play, we'll take it. You know what I mean? Those guys stepped in. It's been our motto forever. Next man up. So Monty Folsom did an outstanding job. Caleb did a very good job. Mahoney played for us a lot. So I say 2.5 guys were out. And then the other performance was that needs to be noted was Joe Horn. He played with the flu and played sick and threw up about 3 or 4 times between certain drives and kept going back out there and doing his job. So. This time of year, guys play banged up, guys play hurt, guys keep going through it. That's what they do. So, week 10 or now week 11 of the season.
What kind of sense do you get from Dakota, just his excitement to play in this game? He's had to watch,
Yeah, Dakota's an excitable kid. You know what I mean? Sometimes he doesn't come across that, but he's fired up. He's excited. I don't foresee him being too hyped up, anything like that. Like I said, my way of calming Dakota down if he is too hyped up is to get him tackled. So if he goes in the game and I feel that he's too yoked up and too excited, we'll just run him once, get him tackled, that'll calm him down and get him back into the flow of the game. Once, like every big game and every rivalry game, once a game gets started, it's a football game. The build up and everything to it is what it is, and it's very exciting for the kids to be a part of that. But once you get in and play that first play, it's still 4 chances to get 10 yards across the goal line, you get 6 points, all that football stuff.
I guess going back to the point of guys playing hurt, banged up, you just talk about John Widenauer and how impressive that streak of his is.
Yeah, man, he's been a staple here for a long time. 49 games is impressive. It's a tribute to what he does off the field. He takes care of his body. He's a potato farmer. I said we had a day off in camp this year. Asked him what he did. He's like, well, I was working on the farm from 7 till 9. Like that's your day off. That's what he does. So he takes care of his body. If you can't find him, you're gonna find him in the weight room. He eats right. His body's a temple, all that type of stuff. And then obviously you play that many games in a row. You got some some luck and some good fortune on your side, you know, so I'm glad he's been there for all those years. I have not coached a game here at Montana State without him there, so it's fun having him there.
From what you see on film, how does your offense match up with Montana's defense?
It's going to be a heck of a battle.
When you look at last year's game, not the ideal situation with Dakota being out, but you know the 7 turnovers and everything that kind of just spiraled out of control. How much of a lesson is that going to be to really protect the ball this week? And
That's every day. That's every day we talk about protecting the ball and holding on to the ball, and that's, you know, no matter what game you play, that's a part of it. I will tell you, if we turn the ball over 7 times, we're probably not going to win the game. So we better hold on to the football, and the only way to score touchdowns is have the ball in your hands.
It's very good, high-powered, fast tempo. They've got a lot of talent on the outside, receiver-wise, running back-wise, and obviously if they're getting Brady back, it really adds to it. So it's going to be a fun challenge for us, but I feel like we're up for that challenge.
What do you need to do to stop them?
We got to get off the field on 3rd downs and 4th downs. We've got to make stops in that regard. We've got to stop the run 1st and 2nd down, put them in 3rd and long situations, which will allow us to get us into our different coverages and pressure looks that we want to get into, and again, win those money downs, 3rd downs and 4th downs, and get off the field and get our offense the ball as much as we possibly can throughout the day. I think the stopping the run is going to be very important for us.
Have you seen an improvement in your defense the last couple of games?
Yes. I've saw improvement with our guys from week 1 all the way throughout the season. Granted, the results have not been what we wanted every single week, but you could see guys individually getting better, and then now you see our entire defense as a whole getting better. So we just got to continue to build on that, build on the positives, continue to learn from some of the negatives. We still haven't played our best game yet defensively, and we're hoping to do so on Saturday. Hear about it all the time, so to finally go out there and get the result that you want to work for is awesome. And then on the flip side of it, if you end up on the losing end of it, it's a disappointment that lasts the next however many days until you get that opportunity to go out there and relieve yourself of that disappointment the next year. So it's a win lasts all year and a loss lasts all year, and the high and low that go along with that.
Saturday, was that the best pass coverage you've got out of your safety pair this season?
Yeah, I think so. I think overall that was probably our best game as far as just attacking the football and defending the ball in the air, getting our eyes around and attacking the football. I would have liked for us to come down with a couple of those to create some takeaways, but overall I think we did a tremendous job of attacking the football in the air, which is something that we've been preaching all year long, and we're starting to see the results of it. And I think the last couple of weeks, in fact, we've done a great job of that. And again, we've seen the improvement week in and week out, but now it's starting to consistently show up as far as our execution is concerned on Saturdays.
With the difference between Simmons and Gustafson and the amount of time Gustafson's been out, how do you go about, because I imagine most of the time recent tape is the most useful, but how do you go about evaluating this guy?
You've obviously got to watch the games that Brady has played and try and find the differences as far as play calling is concerned. See if you can pick up on tendencies in that regard. Brady brings a different skill set than the previous couple quarterbacks that have been playing recently, but he's a tremendous football player, very smart, and I think he's got a really good grasp of what Coach Stitt wants to do offensively. And you can see that. You can see the confidence in everybody on their offense last week on film, and he does a tremendous job of getting them in and out of what they need to against whatever looks he's seeing defensively.
What are your thoughts on that newer style of offense that they play?
As far as just the fast tempo, and I think that's the trend around the country, and they want to get as many snaps in as much as possible, or as many snaps as possible every game, and really put pressure on the defense, spread you out, and try and get their athletes the ball in space as much as they possibly can, and create some one-on-one matchups. I think that's what they're really good at, is finding those one-on-ones and taking advantage of those.